Hello, my boys. Good morning to all of you. Today we shall resume reading Unit 3 of Lesson 7, The Cat, after a day's break. You know, yesterday we discussed about your doubts, and today, after discussing your questions, today we shall resume our reading, Unit 3 of The Cat. On the last occasion, I told you that in the evening, after tea, when the family members got together around the fire, the cat casually goes out to have his own life, and he just goes to the backyard, and after that, he jumps on the roof of an empty shed, and in this way he is enjoying his time. Now we are going to begin the remaining part of Unit 3. On top of the shed, the cat arches his back and rakes his claws once or twice through the soft bark of the old roof. The cat jumps the roof, and after reaching the roof, he just bends his body back and rakes his claws, just scratches his claws on the roof. Why he does so? He stretches himself a few times to see if every muscle is in full working order. Yes, that is the motive. That is the motive of the cat. He arches his body. He scratches the bark of the roof with his claws, only to see if all the muscles in his body are in working order. Okay? ছাদের উপর যখন উঠলো সেটা, বিড়ালটা একবার একটু আঁচড়ে নিল ছাদটা, একবার একটু বডিটা বাঁকিয়ে নিল, আর্চ করা বাঁকানো, আর দু একবার একটু আড়মোড়া ভেঙে নিল। স্ট্রেচ করা বলে, আমরা স্ট্রেচিং বলি, একটু শরীরটাকে টান টান করে নিল, পাগুলো টান টান করে নিল, জাস্ট টু সি whether all the muscles in his body are in working order, are in working position. That is called warm up in sports and games. You know very well. So the cat warms up because now he will play with his mates, with his companions. Okay, and that is why before spending his time in his own way, as he is a fighter, he must be very fit physically, and that is why he just warms up to see if all the muscles are in proper order. Then drooping his head nearly to his paws, and after the warming up, the cat bends down. Drooping means bending down. The cat bends down his head as low as to his paws. সামনের থাবার কাছাকাছি সে মাথাটাকে ঝুঁকিয়ে দেয়। দিয়ে কি করে? After drooping his head nearly to his paws, he sends across a call to his kindred. He gives a call. Meow. He gives out a call. That is not the meek mewing that we have seen in the household. That is not mewing, something like a roar, very loud. Okay? Because he is now fighter. He is no longer a meek creature. He sends across a call to his kindred. Just try to understand the word kindred. Here kindred means family and relations. Family and relations, kins, these are called kindred. But that is in case of man and animals. You can use the word in case of inanimate objects also. And in case of the inanimate objects, it means similar in kind. similar in kind. Okay, I can give you an example in case of inanimate objects. Books on kindred subjects, books on the similar subjects. Okay, do you understand my voice? So, the cat sends across a call for his own relations, for his friends, for his mates. That is what that means. The cat is calling in his mates. The cat gives a summon to his mates. Before long they come. Very soon they reach the spot. The kindred reach the spot. Gliding, graceful shadows. They are coming, they are moving very smoothly. They are walking very gracefully. No hurry, very gracefully they come. No longer are they the meek creatures who an hour ago were mewing for fish and milk. They are no longer, I have told you earlier, they are no longer timid creatures as we see them in our household. They are no longer such timid creatures who just mew for milk and fish. Okay? Now they are grim fighters. They are now grim fighters. They are now serious combatants. Okay? They have come here. They assembled here to have some fight, and that is also a kind of sports for them, because they are basically, cats are hunters, cats are fighters. They are not like dogs. I have told you repeatedly, they have their own life, free life. They do not like to depend on anybody. So now they are grim fighters because they are now having their own time. They are no longer dependent on the people in the house. Just think how much now the author has been describing so far the activities of the cat. Now he will tell us his opinion. The author will tell us his opinion. Just think how much more he gets out of his life than you do out of yours. Here the word is then, but it should have been then. Correct it. This is not then, but then. THAN. There is a printing mistake here. Just think how much more he gets out of his life than you do out of yours. So you can easily understand the cat is getting much more out of his life than we human beings get from our lives. We have often to compromise with our surroundings, with our friends, family members, relatives, and many other people. We have to compromise. Seldom we can do whatever we like. So, we cannot spend our life in our own ways. But the cat does. But the cat does everything in his own way. The cat does everything according to his will. He cares for nobody. You may call him selfish. You may call the cat selfish, but the cat does not care for your opinion. He has his own philosophy of life. Okay? So, we human beings must feel envious at the cat, isn't it? Because the cat has a more glorious life than we have. And the sports they have too. They have their own games, they have their own hunting, everything. They have everything that they want to have. As they get older, they go in for sport to the suburban backyards. As soon as they develop themselves from their uh, childhood days. They developed themselves as young cats. They do have their own sports. They do spend their time according to their will and to have their own life. In the evening, they go to the backyards. These backyards that are dull to us. We have our own backyards. The backyards are included in our own houses. But we have no interest in our backyards. Backyards are left neglected with trivial things. So, backyards are absolutely dull to us. But to the cats, these backyards are to them hunting grounds. There they have their sports, they have their hunting there, where they have more gallant adventure, where they have more gallant adventure than King Arthur's knights ever had. Here, there is a comparison. I am sure you have heard the name of King Arthur. King Arthur is a legendary king. He is a legendary king of Britain. You have heard of him, I'm sure. King Arthur and his knights were very adventurous, very heroic. They did many heroic deeds. And here, the author makes a comparison between the cat and the knights of King Arthur. And he opines, the author opines, that the cats have more gallant adventures than the knights of King Arthur had. Okay? So, you can feel the author presents the cat before us as a very heroic, very brave, very gallant creature. And you must feel quite envious at the cat, isn't it, my boys? It is always spoken as a reproach against cats. We often we often depreciate a cat, the cat, as selfish because they are more fond of their home than of the people in it. Because we think we all have the thought process, we have the same thought that the cats are fond of the home than the inmates of the home. They do not like people, they like the home. Because at home they can get their food, they can get their shelter, they care never for the inmates. And we often say this about the cat as a reproach. Reproach means blame. Blame. Naturally. But the author supports the cat in this regard. Though a bit sarcastically, naturally, the cat doesn't like to leave his country. He says, the author says, it may be so, but you should not blame the cat for this habit, because the cat has the habit, he has the nature, not to leave his own place. He has the nature not to leave his own place, his own acquaintance, the land where all his friends are, the place, here land means place, the place where he has all his friends and where he knows every landmark, where everything is absolute known to the cat. So, the well-acquainted place cannot be left by him at his own will. Okay? He never wishes to leave his well-acquainted place because he knows everything there. He has his friends, he has his known landmarks, the entire place is absolutely known to him. So He is absolutely reluctant to leave his well acquainted place. সে কখনো চেনা জায়গাটা ছেড়ে যেতে চায় না। লোকেরা যাচ্ছে তাতে তার কি? লোকেরা যাচ্ছে তাদের ইচ্ছে, আমি থাকবো আমার ইচ্ছে। I have told you, the cat never depends on anybody because he would find someone in course of time. He has the confidence in himself. Exiled in a new land. Exiled, নির্বাসিত। এখানে অন্য কোথাও যেতে হচ্ছে, এরকম ভাবে ব্যাপারটা করা হয়েছে আর কি। Exiled in a new land. If he has to go to a new place, he would have to learn a new geography. He has to learn. He would have to learn everything new there. He has to be well acquainted with that place also. That is not quite a willing thing to the cat. He does not want to do so. He does not prefer to do it. Okay, this is not a preferable thing to the cat. So when the family moves, so the family sometimes moves to another place. They shifted from one house to another. And when they do so, when the inmates of a house do so, the cat, if allowed, will stay at the old house. The cat wants to stay in the old house and attach himself to the new tenants. Who goes and who comes, that is not the factor to the cat. He does not bother about it. Okay, he just wants a company of some people who will feed him, okay, and give him shelter. So if he is allowed to stay in the old house, in the previous house, he always stays there and acquaints himself with the new people who come there. He will give them the privilege of boarding him while he enjoys life in his own way, because he has the confidence that when the new tenants will come, he would somehow manage to get his privilege from them also, as he got from the old tenants. So he never wants to shift with his old masters, because like dog, the cat does not consider anybody his master. He has no master. He himself is the master of his own life. Okay, that is the beauty, that is the selfishness, whichever you like to say, you may say, but this is the nature of the cat. So we have come to the end of the text. The next day, tomorrow, we shall work out the activities. That is your homework. We shall work out the activities, and after that we shall go to lesson 8. Okay, so goodbye for today.